Hello, everyone. Bruce Morris here from the Tabb Group. Welcome to Market Structure Wave. Over the past couple of months, Firebrand Research took a deep dive into reviewing the current state of the markets and mapped out an excellent guide into decision-making best practices. Today, we are very fortunate to have Virginie, Firebrand Research founder and CEO, author of our recent article, Best Practices in Decision-Making in Volatile Markets, along with Ann Kuelzow, InterSystem's Global Head of Financial Services, to discuss this extremely relevant topic. For those of you not familiar with InterSystems, they have over 7 million production licenses in over 80 countries around the globe. As a leading provider of data solutions for businesses and financial services, as well as healthcare, retail, manufacturing, and logistics. InterSystems business partners utilize their Iris data platform to integrate and complement their existing applications and IT infrastructure to provide real-time, intelligent, and actionable insights. Virginie, I'm going to kick off the interview with you. Could you describe, and I know a lot of this has been all over the news, but what's really causing volatility in the markets today?
It'd probably be easier to tell you what isn't causing volatility at the moment, if I'm honest. We've got a lot of different factors out there. Obviously, geopolitics is an enduring one that we've had over the last couple of years. We've got tensions between the US and China in terms of trade wars. We've got Russia versus the rest of the world. Need I say that's continuing on this year. We've had ups and downs in the markets. God knows where the British pound is at the moment, but I mean, that's been rocketing up and down. We've seen a fair number of discussions about various financial institutions over the last week or so, and I'd say it's interesting to see so many different things coming out of the pandemic. I think we've had more black swan events than I've ever seen in my life. I hope it doesn't continue at this pace, but certainly I think the markets have got very used to ups and downs and roller coastering over the last couple of years.
And can you tell our viewers how your clients are being impacted by all of this volatility?
Sure. So when you look at, what's happening in the market, and especially over the course of the last few years, we've had unforeseen events, as Virginie was saying. And these events are causing institutions to have quite a bit of challenge in terms of understanding their market risk, their exposures. What's the impact to P&L as things are happening? Looking at their trading strategy, can I alter my trading strategies as these dynamics unfold? Plus, better understanding, modeling, and portfolio management. So it's really about how to mitigate risk and take advantage of opportunities. And at the same time, you have your regulators, right, that want faster replies to their queries. Your customers expect to have improved analytics and reporting in short order. So getting the right insights from data, both internal and external, to drive accurate decisions really gives the firms a competitive edge.
Virginie, what IT and data management challenges did you find in your research?
Well, I think as Anne pointed out, there's a lot of challenges internally with trying to have the right data at the right time to make the right decisions. Now, that can be anything from reg reporting, client reporting, it can be risk management, it can be trading strategies. I mean, we are literally, I think, as an industry, drowning in data at the moment. And if you look at it from the regulatory reporting standpoint, in the US alone, the SEC's issued 38 different regulations thus far this year, all of which entail more regular, more consistent, timely reporting, and they're certainly investing themselves in data and data architecture. So they're, interrogating that data, and it's pretty obvious to anyone that's receiving reports, whether it's a client or a regulator, whether that data is faulty or not, because there's a lot of comparison going on across the markets in terms of providers as well. because your clients are also investing in data technology. So certainly we're in the era of unprecedented transparency, and certainly in terms of data, we just really need to make sure that we're looking at the right data sets and being able to make the right decisions and be able to prove where that data's come from. So that's significantly challenging if you have a heavily siloed legacy architecture, as most firms do, because of the level of M&A that's gone on over the last couple of decades.
And can you address some of the solutions that technology can provide to help your financial services clients mitigate risk and uncover new business opportunities? And then while you're going through that, if there are any client use cases that you could share to illustrate those, that would be helpful too.
Okay, absolutely. And so when you look at, technology investments in firms, there's a lot of existing technologies, varying architecture, and no one has the appetite to rip and replace and start afresh. So what needs to be done, and people have tried to mitigate this by moving data around, putting in data warehouses, data marts, moving to data warehouse on the cloud, data lakes, and all of these areas of technology architecture. They have some value, but when you look at being able to harness information as dynamically as things are happening, it's a difficult challenge to overcome. So, in the past, there's been also integrations where teams of people have put together integrated internal, external sources. These are quite time-consuming and brittle. And when you need to look at what's happening in the market as events are unfolding, you need to look at structured data from market feeds. You need to look at unstructured data from tweets, because these all have an impact in terms of the insights to run your business. So by looking at, what are the options, right? How do I actually take advantage of what I already invested in, but reduce my latencies, have the ability to bring in all types of data sources, including various frequencies, from message streams, from operational sources, from trading sources. There is actually a new architectural pattern called it's called a data fabric. And what a data fabric allows you to do is to actually be able to take data at the source systems and not have to move it many times over. So you're reducing your latencies. There's a smart data fabric, which we have, which allows you to actually do analytics at the source. And you can do analytics, machine learnings, workflow. So it really gives you the opportunity to run your business in a very efficient way and not have to depend on sources like IT or reporting teams. It gives you the ability to harness the data as things are changing. And a couple of examples around this would be, so we had one large bank that we worked with who had a number of acquisitions, and they were getting a lot of pressure from the regulators in terms of timely reporting. There were threats of fines. They also wanted to have the capacity to see their financial data and risk reporting. And in order to be able to put together about 16 different systems to generate this insight and report, they would have to wait between 10 to 14 days. So you can imagine by the time this information was presented, it wasn't, it was stale. It wasn't up to date. And so a goal was to also give them the capacity to drill into this data, to look at where this data came from, to understand the lineage or provenance. And so to have the accuracy and the confidence in the data that they were using for this decision making. So with by being able to implement a data fabric type architecture, we were able to actually have them generate these reports on demand. They were able to take in new data sources as needed, change the model as the business evolved, and be able to really drill into the data to understand what was happening and what were their risk profiles as things were changing. Another interesting example is from a retail institution in the Midwest, and this was a mid-sized institution. And during COVID, they wanted to be able to reduce their risk in terms of loan defaults. They wanted to be able to maintain customer satisfaction and customer retention. And so the branches were closed, and they wanted to be able to proactively go reach out to customers and help support them. So what they did, again, they implemented this Smart Data Fabric, which brought together different sources of data, CRMs, core banking systems, and they came up with 30 different behavioral metrics by using machine learning. And on a continuous basis, daily, they were able to reach out to their customers and to offer them the right products to support them. And it actually increased their bottom line by over 50%. So those are a couple of examples, hopefully that, paints a little bit of the picture.
No, that was perfect. That showed it from both a compliance standpoint and a business development standpoint. Wrapping this up, Virginie, can you share with the viewers what do you see next in line for data management technology and in helping financial services businesses that is currently in development? And Ann, if there's something that Virginie misses, feel free to jump in on that one too.
Well, I think given, as I mentioned earlier, and as Ann's been talking about, the focus of data management technology is to help the business self-serve, right? You don't want data technology to get in the way of what you want to do and achieve as a business. So it's certainly meant to be out there to help you navigate vast numbers of different data sets. And with the advent of things like digital assets, you want to be able to combine traditional asset information and traditional sources with maybe the newer sources out there. So I think the real focus of data technology is really on enabling the business to adapt and to self-serve, and also to be able to build on top with new next-gen technologies and be able to rely on the data that's underlying those technologies, such as AI or machine learning. So it's very much a foundational core part of the business, I think, these days.
So Ann, Virginie, thanks so much for sharing your time and insights with Tabb Forum today. And to our viewers, if you haven't read Virginie's paper on this subject, there'll be a big red button at the end of the video that'll take you to the article. And lastly, thanks for stopping by for what was hopefully both an educational and entertaining ride on Tabb Forum's Market Structure Wave.